Welcome, everybody, to the Wake Up Call channel. I have to cover this headline from CNBC because this is a mainstream media outlet. And over the years, talking about the Internet of Bodies, talking about transhumanism, literally human Borgs, has gotten so much pushback from the sheeple out there. They hear this stuff, they're like, there's no way a phone is ever ending up in your body, right? How many times have we heard it? We've talked about the mark of the beast. I've talked about it openly, what I believe it is. Right? Getting this technology inside of you. And people go, there's no way we're ever going to transition from a cell phone to having the phone in you. And then you see stuff like this and you just go, are these people paying attention? Look at this from CNBC. Internet of Bodies. What happens when tech and humans meld together? Right? And then on the flip side, you get MSN, which is another mainstream media outlet, with an article like this. The end of the smartphone era is approaching, right? So connect the dots. It's always good to look at multiple articles on similar topics because you can see where they're coming from you from different angles, right? You stumble upon this because the same sheeple will read MSNBC, CNBC, that'll read MSN, right? So they're hitting them with dual, methods of mind control without them obviously realizing it. They're just being programmed. So this is them going, this is what happens when tech and humans meld together. And I'll read it to you. Oh, the benefits of it. Ooh, this is where we're headed. And they're like, oh, okay. And then without telling you that your phone's going to be in your body, because over here they're going, well, the end of the smartphone era is approaching. And then in that article, they're just kind of going, well, what's the future look like? And they're like, well, I don't know. There's things like Neuralink. Well, who knows where it's headed to? What about the watch, the Apple Watch, right? Because I've talked about the transition from the phone to the watch to the wristband to the eye lens, right? To just where it can't get any closer to being inside of you, right? And these people don't realize any of it. They literally are just like, oh, it's just a fun article. And then the next thing you know, it's out there and they'll still be saying that we were all wrong about what we've been warning them about because they'll be so desensitized to it that their response is going to be, well, so what, right? Well, at first the response is, oh, a little pushback, right? I don't know about that. I mean, if you go in the comments section under the CNBC article, this is the mindset that some of these people have now, right? And we know that that'll change after propaganda comes out telling us how safe it really is. But this is, instead of just being like, are you kidding me? Or figuring out what the government's trying to do, the sheep will say stuff like this. Please make those brain chips smaller. I'm afraid of being electrocuted. I'm afraid of someone deleting memories. I'm afraid someone will use it to traffic people or used for discrimination. I'm certain this is a fear shared by everyone. Please don't let these things happen. So there's a perfect example, right, of a sheeple. This is somebody who's seeing this story I'm about to read to you, and they have videos out on it as well. And their response is, okay, they're a little fearful, but you clearly could see in this hive mind here that all the government's going to need to do is say, okay, well, look, here's a sheeple right here. We'll tell them it's smaller because we all know how small it is. It's not visible to the human eye. In fact, it's injectable. Wink, wink, right? A lot of people are already, trying it out. And then saying, well, I don't want to be electrocuted, right? So they'll put propaganda. Oh, it's safe. You won't get electrocuted. Oh, and then this person will line up for it, but they just need more propaganda first, right? Because they're pretty much saying, I don't want to lose my memory. So, okay, you don't want to lose your memory. So how about you don't get the tech inside of you? Right? I mean, you're probably a good chance you're going to lose your memories from all the 5G radiation, et cetera, that you're getting, but okay, you don't want to lose your memories. How about you just don't get the tech inside of you? What's it going to take for you to realize, or to think that way, right? Well, what's going to take is she's going to get it. This person is going to get it, but they just need the government to tell them that they won't delete their memories. They promise, right? And then they just go, okay, sign me up, right? So the next generation of the Internet of Bodies could meld tech and human bodies together. This is the article they released. The next generation of IOB will bring technological devices in the human body closer together than ever before. Academic and author Andrea M. Matswa, surprised it's not Greenblatt, who coined the term in 2016, describes it as a network of human bodies whose integrity and functionality rely, at least in part, on the internet and related technologies such as artificial intelligence. And again, these people, the majority of people, do not have a clue. Anytime I bring up AI and you start bringing up AI, you start bringing up the spiritual realm, and they just automatically shut down. They have zero idea how to grasp it. Christians too, right? Because their churches aren't talking about this stuff. They're sitting there in church. The preacher's literally on a tablet on the internet, getting their bullet points for their sermon. So they don't want to hear this stuff about the internet. They don't want to believe it because most of these people cannot live without it. And again, that's something we're all going to have to get used to doing. I get it. We're on the internet now. I'm not a hypocrite. Okay. But in the future, we're going to have to get used to not depending on the internet. So you need to get books. You need to get self-sufficient. Okay. And there's a lot of things that need to be done. Hopefully on the website, we'll figure out maybe in places that we could all meet or locate. I mean, these are things we have to think about. But back to the Internet of Bodies, right? A network of human bodies whose integrity and functionality rely on the internet. Is anyone paying attention? Human bodies, so your body, okay, functionality, internet, put those words together. AI, technology, okay, this is transhumanism. The global connected medical device market alone is worth $66 billion. So there you go, right? It's always in front of us, $66 billion. The first category of this Internet of Bodies is external. First generation tech, such as smartwatches or rings, have become mainstream ways to track our steps or heart rate. Smart glasses, which can function as cameras, headphones, or monitors, are another example of early IoB devices, such as the Internet of Bodies. Okay, so let's just recap the first category, which is external. I've mentioned this. The transition that they've tried to do, the way they've tried to convince you into this is by giving you tech and telling you that it's for the benefit of your health, right? That'll be one of the ways that they get the tech inside your body. Again, they'll say it's no different than a pacemaker. They'll use methods like that to convince, pacemakers have been around forever, right? Imagine when the pacemaker first came out, how people responded. Now it's like, as I say, time goes by, they get desensitized. They go, oh, it's a pacemaker. What's the big deal? Oh, grandma had a pacemaker. Oh, okay, sure, right? Oh, I have it on my wrist tracking my heart rate. Well, wouldn't it be better if it's in your body? And then when you have it, your heart rate goes high, it could just alert the doctors. And people will be like, yeah, that sounds great, right? I won't have to go into AFib or I won't have any. Okay, great, right? They've been, conditioning people to be so dependent on the tech to monitor their steps, their heart rate, instead of just being like, okay, I'll roll the dice, I'm going to go out and live my life. I don't need to track my footsteps, but that's long conditioning for the carbon footprint as well. So the second generation, that was external, is internal. These are devices you ingest or have implanted. Think of pacemakers with digital implants, smart prosthetics, hardwired into patients' nerves and muscles, or even digital pills that transmit medical data after you swallow them. Now, that might sound crazy to people out there, but the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, you always hear about them, right? Is it FDA approved, right? You hear about how the FDA approves food that's on the shelves in the stores, then you find out it's got weed killer in it, but the FDA has approved this already, okay? Ingestible electronics. So, if they're approving it, anything they approve, be suspicious of. And anything that they don't approve of, like NAC, well, then you probably should say, wait, there's probably benefits to this, right? Like helping my body detox from radiation, etc. So the second generation is internal. These are devices you ingest or have implanted. Think about that. Okay? They then try to coerce the audience from devices you have ingested or implanted to, think of a pacemaker. Think of a pacemaker or a smart prosthetic, right? So then you're thinking about an artificial limb of somebody. And again, this is a mind control tactic, right? How they're doing the Neuralink. Paralyzed people, paraplegics, getting you on board with the technology first because you're going, oh, this poor person lost their leg in the war. They have a spinal injury. And of course, it's all sad. But, they use that so that you go, oh, all right, well, this is a good thing with technology. We should allow this technology to exist, right? And then little by little, as they become desensitized, they start marketing it to them. Hey, did you know that you might not have a missing limb, but that technology could help you be less tired? Really? Less anxiety. Really? No more depression? What? You could think faster. What? It's like dopamine. What? Okay. That's how it's going to work. So then they say, finally, there's the third generation. These devices completely merge with the body while maintaining a real-time connection to an external machine and the internet. Can I make that clear? This is in CNBC. Devices completely merging with the body while maintaining a real-time connection to an external machine and the internet. And don't forget, yes, this is already underway. If you don't know, a trial has gone underway of mixing man and machine. We're seeing how many people it's taking in or not, how many people are going back to get more, okay? That's happening right now in real time. So this isn't something where they're like, oh, that's years and years away. Yeah, the real experiment's underway right now. Okay? We're seeing how unhinged and what it's doing to people and people's brains being fried and people dying. So, but they're telling you in the open in a CNBC article, the third generation is merging your body with devices, a real-time connection. A connection to what? A connection to an external machine and the internet. So connecting your body to the internet. So when we were all talking about this 10 years ago, and then we saw it come out a couple years ago, they made sure they came out and deflected when they talked about, oh yeah, putting microchips and all this other crap. Gates and all them came out trying to act like we were completely insane about this notion. Now they're telling you, of course, that this is a benefit in the future, that a human being can be connected to the internet, and people already are. We've seen people connected directly to Bluetooth as we speak. So one of the most notable companies in this space, again, is Elon Musk's Neuralink, which is developing the brain-computer interface. Again, marketed to conservatives. Elon Musk is conveniently conservative right now because this is something that everyone has to have. It's not just going to be for the libs. The conservatives are going to get marketed into it. It's going to be the illusion of choice, right? You're going to have the Bezos, Gates, Neuralink, and then you're going to have the Elon Musk one. Just like you had Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, you will have options, so you feel free. But you won't hear any speak against it because your heroes are going to be promoting it to you. And that's why, the conservative hive mind's just as deadly as the liberal hive mind. So they say other Internet of Body proponents are excited about the advancements it could bring, especially to healthcare. They say as bits and bodies meld, and as human flesh becomes permanently entwined with hardware, software, and algorithms, IOB will test our norms and values as a society. In particular, it will challenge notions of human autonomy and self-governance. This is in CNBC, okay? I don't know what's going through the mind of one of the, well, I kind of do, I guess, because I look at these, when I people watch, which I do often, I do try, quite often try to guess what they're thinking. Most of the time I just kind of see like sand blowing around in their head, or, just nothing, maybe just a dull light bulb, maybe kind of tweaking in and out of being on or off. Most of the time it's off. But when you read an article like this, do you not see where this is going? Do you not understand how they have to get into your body to do this in the first place? Do you not understand the warnings that most of us were giving of what they are trying to do? Do you not see how they've gone so far out there to try to silence us from talking about this? Yet the alt-right media, they could be anti-potion, but they don't cover this. You think the Daily Wire's talking about this? They're just going, oh man, we're seeing people die. Maybe it's not safe. They're trying to make a lot of money. Right? They don't get into this because they're going to transition you too into the technology getting into your skin. Just they're going to use different means of mind control because this infrastructure, this new world order doesn't work not only without destroying all the current government infrastructures, but it also doesn't work without the technology being in you. And that's why I talk about with the mark of the beast, you will not be able to buy or sell without having this mark, right? There'll be those who seek death and do not find death in the end days, the book of Revelation tells us, right? Well, when man mixes with machine, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that these people will no longer be human and might actually be able to live forever in a sense. Eternal hell, right? No salvation, but eternally in the flesh they consume that they mix, or should I say, meld together, as the article so nicely tells us, melding humans and machine, connecting humans to the internet. This is not a conspiracy. This is what they're doing. They're telling you, I showed you the dual articles in the beginning for a reason. The end of the smartphone era is approaching, right? So do you see where they're going? The internet by people, the sheeple who's like, is it safe for me? Well, no, it's not. But all you're going to need to be told is that it is. That's all you need to be told. The TV says it's safe. You won't get electrocuted. We promise. Then you see Kim Kardashian do it or whatever idol, Taylor Swift promote it. And then the sheeple will go and do it. Because it's like talking to a 2-year-old. They're trained to be children. They think like children. They trust like a child would trust the guy with the candy in the truck that pulls up that they don't know, that pulls up and says, you want some candy? Get in. That's what these adults are now. right? So they see this, they're like, whoa, their soul's telling them, man, I don't know about this. And they're going, well, you promised me that it's safe? Does it sound safe? Does it sound safe? But when they phase out the smartphone, because at first, obviously not everyone's going to sign up. The young people will. The old people are obviously going to be harder to get to do this. But at first, just like with the phone, people will not jump in. They will still have their smartphone. But then when they start saying after 5 years that your smartphone, we aren't going to keep it anymore. Verizon doesn't want it. Are you going to be able to live without your smartphone? Most people are not. You could see around you, okay? A lot of people listening to this channel are guilty of it on their phone all the time. I am not one of those people. I'm not a hypocrite about it, but I am on the internet doing this, okay? And I'm mentally preparing myself to not be. But would you be able to be? Well, maybe when that ultimatum comes, I hope that everybody out there does move away from the phone and the internet, become self-dependent. But every year that goes by that you're more dependent on the tech, the easier it'll be for them to say, look, this guy's saying it's the mark of the beast. It's not the mark of the beast. He's a crazy conspiracy nut. Look, so-and-so has it, and they're walking the streets, and they're fine, and that's how they're going to get people on board. And they're going to go, look, your phone's phased out. It's like one of the flip phones. You can't have it anymore. It's not on the network anymore. So you're going to have to adapt with it. And by the way, now that we have a digital ID, how are you going to go buy stuff? How are you going to go to the store? How are you going to do anything? Right? Because you're not going to have your phone. You're not going to have the tech. So how are you going to do that? You can't. Right? You're pushed out of society. Bada bing, bada boom. That's the plan. And this is what they're going to do in the meantime. They're going to subtly convince you that it's the future without scaring you. Well, okay. Whoa, it's first, of course, someone will read it. They'll be like, oh, that's melding tech and humans. That sounds a little intense. Oh, but Elon Musk is doing Neuralink, and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are doing their own thing. And people, oh, okay, all right. 5 years go by. Hey, did you know that so-and-so isn't paralyzed anymore? They feel better. In fact, they're not only not paralyzed, they're thinking faster than any regular person, and they're running fast. They're doing it all. They're superheroes. Ooh, does that mean I could be like Superman or Spider-Man? Yeah, okay. And then the other people who don't get, fall for that propaganda, they'll be like, well, the phone's phased out. So do you want to, everything you do, every time you have a question, you go to the Google machine. What are you going to do now? You're not going to be able to think because your mind is already uploaded, your consciousness. Oh, right. I guess I better go to that. No, the answer is unplugging little by little now while you can. Because when that tech is in place, you cannot give into it, no matter what. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.